get U.S. forces to the airport?
No. There's no deal that restricts forces to the airport, but, Brett, that's where the mission is. The troops are there for really two things. One, to keep that airport safe and secure for people and for flight operations. And two, to make sure that those flight operations can go as unimpeded as possible with as few delays.
No, I understand,
as many aircraft as we can get on
but
there.
If the British can take their paratroopers and they can get in vehicles and go get their people and get them to the airport, why can't the U.S. do that? If there is a deal with the Taliban to provide safe passage, why is it left to the Americans outside of that ring to get there on their own? Why can't we send vehicles to go get them? We have not seen any great impediments to the safe passage that the Taliban have agreed to facilitate. Americans are getting through those checkpoints, and they are getting onto the base on the airfield, and they are being flown out of Kabul. I won't speak to potential future operations that may or may not be conducted. What I can tell you is the operation we're conducting now, and that is to keep that airfield open and running, and Americans are getting through the lines. They are getting onto planes.
All right, so that's where we're at right now. Brett Baer making a good question to John Kirby, saying if other countries are able to get their loved ones and their people away from the enemy lines, why can't we go beyond the enemy lines and pick our Americans up and get them home? Right now, we still have thousands and thousands of Americans stranded right now. We have not heard anything from President Biden in a question and answer round with the media. The last time we saw him, he was conducting a COVID-19 briefing, and then as soon as that was over, he left. He left the podium even when the media was demanding some answers from this Afghanistan crisis that we continue to see and continues to play out in real time. Unfortunately, we're trying to get Afghan refugees out there as well, but we want to get the Americans out there as well. And you heard there in the piece that the spokesperson there for the Pentagon kept on saying, well, they have an agreement with the Taliban to allow safe passage. And that's just where it's at right now, just an agreement. Can you imagine 20 years ago, did you ever think that we would ever have an agreement with the Taliban, the same ones that harbored Osama bin Laden during the worst terror attack on American soil? And just to think, 20 years later, we're now trying to conduct deals with them in some way. And if that ever falls apart, what's going to happen to our Americans that are beyond the enemy lines right now and are still looking for safety from the U.S. Defense Department here? So what is going to happen? We will continue to follow this right here, but it's getting scary for the Americans out there, definitely, and everyone that is in Afghanistan right now, because you're relying on the Taliban in this supposed deal. I put that lightly there, deal, because it could fall apart at any moment. You really can't trust them when they have done so many bad things to us in the past there. We'll continue to follow it here for you on Live Now from Fox. Will tomorrow be the day that we hear from President Biden on Afghanistan? We wait and we see. We're sliding away for another quick 2-minute break.